Hello and welcome to Feng Shui Live. This is all about helping you gain clarity on your path to success. And so today is an awesome opportunity where I have Amy Perkins here with us, and it's all about understanding what experiences she's had in her life and how she was able to take those challenges or those awakenings and truly manifest new and exciting things. So Amy, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Ken. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So Amy, let's just jump right in. You know, for a lot of my clients or people that I work with or in the community, you know, we've all experienced some levels of trauma, drama, and stress.
Yep.
Usually it's some type of life event. And I know that you've had some experiences and some ahas in your moment in your life. Can you share a little bit about what that last one really was and how that triggered you onto your new path?
Absolutely. So October 11th of 2016, my best friend from college died. And she was a single mom with a 2-year-old little boy, and she lost her battle to ovarian cancer. And that was such a wake-up moment for me. I mean, the minute she got sick, it was an awakening for me to find gratitude. You know, here my friend was driving herself to chemo in the snow with a 2-year-old, no help. And so that gratitude slipped in. You know, my husband and I would have an argument, and instead of stewing on that, I would think, how lucky am I to have a spouse that I can argue with? Because she would have given anything to have had a partner helping her go through what she was going through. And so starting with gratitude, that was this shift. I mean, I wasn't like a miserable person, but I definitely did not have the depth of gratitude that I do now, which has just lit my light up to another level. And, you know, when Tracy died, I made a silent promise to her that I was not going to waste 1 second of 1 minute of one day living a mediocre life anymore. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no clarity around what that was going to be, but I just started taking steps to figure out what that would look like.
Wow. Talking about an amazing life event, and at the same time, truly seeing somebody's life come to an end, and all of that promise and potential and possibilities all of a sudden just evaporating, and then making it kind of about like, hey, what am I doing here? Like, I'm just going through the motions.
Yep.
And what do I need to do? So you had that life event, and then you were kind of not necessarily stuck, I would say, but you lacked the clarity at that moment, but you knew that you were ready to change. And at that time you were, you know, working and things like that. So what happened from that point, from that awareness into kind of the next steps?
So I just literally became a student of self-growth, self-development. You know, I had been in my career for 25 years. I was in education. I had 3 college degrees, all in education. A bachelor's degree, I had a master's degree in curriculum design, and a teaching credential. And I taught for 9 years, and then I became a consultant, a coach, and a teacher trainer. So that's what I had been doing for 17 of the last years. And while that job and career lit me up in my early 20s and in my 30s, and I was now in my mid 40s, it wasn't lighting me up anymore. And after Tracy died, I was just paying close attention. And this is advice I would give to all of your listeners. Step 1 is pay attention to what lights you up, what fuels you, what energizes you, and what depletes you. And at that time, this job was depleting me. There were instances going on. There were leaders that were not leading with integrity. And I was just seeing this big disconnect between what I wanted my life to be and what these people in my career were doing. And it just got to be such a big divide that I was coming home sick to my stomach. I was having lots of nights where I was crying because of what was going on to someone else, and nobody was speaking up. And, you know, luckily I have a husband that was really supportive and said, we don't know what your next step is going to be, but I have no doubt that you will figure it out, and I support you if you want to quit. So, you know, Tracy's death really got me moving forward on figuring out what clarity looked like in my life. one of the books, so I just became the student of life, like I said. I would wake up at 4:30 every morning, crawl out of bed, go downstairs, put on my headphones, listen to podcasts, download books on Audible, hours and hours a day. I put in hundreds and hundreds of hours. And I didn't just absorb, I took action. I would absorb and I would implement what I was learning because I had that desire to change. And if you have a desire to change, that is what you need to make change. One of the first books that I found that really was that awakening for me was Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
She's great.
So she just launched a syndicated talk show, and I feel like we are all connected. I think the universe gives us signs, we hear whispers, and it's up to us to take those whispers and act on them. And for whatever reason, that book really spoke to me, and it made me realize that I was living this life in fear, that I didn't even realize I was. I was comfortable, and I realized I really didn't take risks if I thought I could fail. And I was safe. So while I had like an awesome career and in a pretty good life, I saw the possibilities if I only did things that scared me more often and if I risked failure. So I used that 5-second rule all day, every day to do things that scared me. And I also had that whisper that I wanted to get coached by this woman. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know anything about her. I just read this book. I think I ended up reading it like 7 times. And so then I Googled her and I realized she used to coach, but she didn't coach anymore. I wrote down, I will meet Mel Robbins. She will be my coach. I wrote that down. That's also, I started getting really intentional about what I wanted in my life, like designing this life of my dreams. And about 2 weeks later, I saw Mel Robbins on a podcast interview, saw her on a YouTube video interview, and she was launching a course, a coaching course. And it was like, of course I have to sign up. And I immediately signed up. And she was going to be speaking at a conference, and I immediately signed up. And that led me on this path. 4 months later, I ended up live on stage in San Francisco at Creative Live. Mel Robbins plucked me out of the audience, and I got one-on-one coaching.
That's amazing. That is really incredible. That is exciting. You know, for those of you that are listening, bring out the journal because there's a lot of golden nuggets that are shared throughout this message. And so Amy just shared things around fear, around clarity, around, hey, what's my purpose, around awareness. And at the same time, the whole Mel Robbins experience is really about manifestation. And how do you begin to go from a thought and begin to actually manifest that thought into reality? But what I want to do is I want to come back to fear because this is a big one. And
yeah,
you had this big push almost behind you and almost this drive to confront your fear.
Yeah.
And what I see a lot of times is people are afraid, especially on video or taking a photo or something like that.
Yeah.
They're just scared, or they're scared to write that next blog article because they're going to put the comma in the wrong place and someone's going to comment.
Yeah.
So what do you do, or what's your guidance or insight into helping someone kind of break free or break through that experience of fear, self-doubt, and anxiety?
I will share what I did because I had all of those feelings, you know, when I was at that Creative Live with Mel Robbins, my husband was there. There were about 35 people in the audience, and there was an after party. And at that time I had started a business. I was still doing my consulting work in education, and I was starting a side business, taking that steps toward clarity, like trying to figure out what my thing was going to be. I didn't know, but I was taking steps, taking action. And I met this man. He was an entrepreneur. I do not know his name. I wish I could find him because I was explaining my new business to him. And he looked at me dead in the eyes and he said, "This isn't what you're going to be doing." And I was like, "Yes, it is." And he goes, "No, you're going to be on TV." And I'm like, "You are crazy. I am a middle-aged mom. Nobody wants to see me. Nobody wants to hear from me. I don't look like people on TV. I don't look like people that people listen to with a message. And this man was so insistent, like it seared through to my soul. So my husband and I are driving home and I'm like, that guy, like, I don't want to be on TV, but I know I have this message to share. Like I had this burning desire to share this message. I had shared this book, this 5-second rule book, and how I was pushing through fear with everyone in my immediate circle, like everyone in their immediate circle. I mean, it was everybody around me and around them was hearing this, and they were implementing it and reading the book and taking action. And I did have a burning desire to share that, but I didn't have a burning desire to be seen because of the fear, because I didn't want to be criticized on my appearance. I didn't want to be criticized on how I talked or what I said. It's real. That fear is real. But that day, I could not get that man's voice out of my head about being on TV. And I thought, maybe I could make a video about this book, about how I've pushed through fear. And maybe there's somebody out there that needs to hear this and needs to hear what I've done. And so I got my 9-year-old son, because I was totally tech challenged, didn't know how to do anything. And I knew he could put stuff on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, Mom's going to make a video and I need your help to put on YouTube. And I was so nervous, but I did this video. He helped me upload it to YouTube. And Ken, I kid you not, that video got 100 views, 200 views, 500 views, 1,000 views, 5,000 views. The first video I ever put on YouTube has over 22,000 views.
So my question is, why do you think that is, right? So we had all this fear, this self-doubt,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it kind of took off, and now tens of thousands of people have seen that. So when I repeat that back to you, what do you think about that?
I think that magic is on the other side of fear. And use my example. Now, my videos get 200,000 plus views a week. I have people from all over the world that email me, that message me. They've taken action just on something I've shared and truly transformed their lives. Not only did I do that video because the guy said I was going to be on TV, the week that Mel Robbins launched her talk show, I launched a segment on our local news channel. It is a makeover show for women. We are helping transform lives from the inside out. We have a dream team, and there is a celebrity makeup artist, there is a professional hairstylist, there's a professional clothing stylist, and then there's me. I help them do the inside work. And I mean, I have total body chills right now. That guy was right. Like there was something bigger, and that fear of not wanting to be seen, not want to be criticized. If we can just realize, the other thing I've realized by being brave enough to show up, like I have gotten criticism. I talk about gratitude and compassion and pushing through fear and changing your life. And I've had people tell me to kill myself. I've had people say, you're a bimbo. I've had people say, shut up, go away. But what I've come to see, like those are people that are in pain, because people like me that are full of joy, that want to spread love and light out into the world, not only would I never write that, I don't even think that. And if there's content that doesn't resonate with me, I just scroll on by. I don't waste energy commenting. So I wish I knew that then, because I don't think I would have had that overwhelming fear. Anybody that's going to criticize the way I look, they don't like themselves, because it doesn't matter how I look. What matters is that there's a possibility that somebody out there could hear my message and take action and do something to change their life. That's what matters.
Yes, absolutely. I love this. There's a lot of lessons there, and it's all about, hey, if I have a message, get out of your own way.
Yes.
And move forward, and just take that next simple step. Don't worry about step 800. Just take the next simple step. And as Amy here shares, it's about progress over time. You didn't try to hit the home run out of the gate. You just started by talking to your 9-year-old saying, hey, can you press record for me? And can we put it up to YouTube or some type of social media? That's outstanding. So what do you do, or what do you recommend when somebody doesn't have the clarity at the moment? What's that next simple step to help them gain that clarity and to move forward in just taking that next simple step?
So unfortunately, the way to get to clarity is action and acting before you're ready. If you wait till you're ready, you're never going to be ready. If you wait till it's perfect, you're never going to start. You know, I started a newsletter because, again, I wanted to share this message with people, because I wanted to share all these tools, all these tips, all these things I manifested in my life, and share the steps so they could do the same. And I had told myself a story that I think a lot of people do. One of the stories was, I'm a horrible writer. You know, my background is in academia, and I just remember like big red marks on my papers in college, in grad school. The story that I was told by the outside world was, you're not a good writer. Well, I had that push to share like I did for the video. And I just thought, you know what? If somebody thinks I'm a bad writer, they don't have to read my newsletter. So I started writing like I talk. I stopped trying to write to impress people. I stopped trying to write in the way that I thought people wanted it to look like. I just wrote like I talked. And now I have emails and people write me that my writing is magical, which, I mean, it blows me away, because again, if I had never written because of the story I told myself I'm a bad writer, I'm not a bad writer. You're not a bad writer. Nobody's a bad writer. Everybody deserves a seat at the table. If you have a story to share, if you know you have value to put out into the world, put it out. You know, don't worry about what anybody's going to say or think, because I started just hoping that I could connect with one. You know, I shared because I figured there has to be one more woman out there that is my age that thinks it's too late to start over, it's too late for you to share a message, you don't have value, you can't share because of the way you look or your age or whatever. And now I know not only are there women that have connected with my message, I've got men, which, you know, everyone talks about designing your perfect avatar, and I don't know, because I designed the avatar and it was just people like me, and I have people from all walks of life and all ages, and that resonate. So I think it's more of, for me, it's more of a soul message. It's a message. My avatar is like a soul avatar, not a what you hear to find for that avatar.
I love this. And again, there's so many golden nuggets. So those of you that are listening on the podcast or on YouTube or on social media, feel free to replay this a couple times, because just then Amy shared, like, again, 5 golden nuggets just within those couple of words. So make sure that you're replaying this. And, you know, one of the things that I truly love about this experience is it comes down to human behavior a lot of times, right? So that connection and speaking from within yourself and allowing yourself to share your gifts with the world, whatever they may be, so that then when you do, and your first video was proof of this, when you truly share what's coming through you, people will resonate with it. It will connect with people. And so that's a beautiful thing. So I want to make sure, because we talked about the newsletter a couple times with reading and different examples, where can people subscribe or gain access to your newsletter?
So it's at keystocourage.com. And if you go there, you'll land right on the page to sign up for the newsletter. And I often say, I get excited when someone unsubscribes, because it's not for everybody. But the people that it's for, I get emails that message that week was what they needed to hear to transform their life. So it's not for everybody, but it might be for you. And you might find a tip or a tool or a book or a podcast or something that I share in one of the weekly newsletters that is that tool you need. So yeah, keystocourage.com.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Like, again, so guys, if you have an opportunity, go check out keystocourage.com. Amy's got a lot of tools and things that are going to help you gain the clarity to take action so that you can truly get the results. And one of the things I want to touch upon is we've started to talk about, hey, you've had a life event. You started to realize there was some awareness that happened and a shift that begun, and then taking action. And we started to talk about the manifestation.
Yeah.
But I want to see if you have other thoughts around helping people manifest and what that looks like, especially if they're not feeling like they're manifesting at the present moment. What does that start to look like, and how do they start to get in that space so that they're truly manifesting the things that they desire in their life, in their personal and or professional life?
So first of all, you have to have that deep burning soul desire to manifest that thing you want. And you have to believe with every fiber of your being, from the tip of your head to the bottom of your toes, that it's possible. And then you take action. And I'll share my formula because I've done this time and time and time again. And sometimes the result looks a little bit different than the original idea, but if you do this, you will begin to manifest amazing things. So a few years ago, my husband got a job transfer and we moved out of state. And he was now managing, he was with a Fortune 250 company. He had the lowest performing office in the nation. And part of the perks of his job, which I never had in education, you could win trips, you could win cash. And I was like, honey, let's build a vision board together. I want to win that trip to Jamaica. You're winning that trip to Jamaica. And so we got our kids at the time, maybe they were 4 and 10. And we sat down and we drew a poster board. And we wrote, Dad is going to win the road to paradise. The kids decorated it. My husband and I talked about what that would look like. We talked about how amazing it would be to be on that trip. We visualized ourselves on that trip. We put that poster board up in our walk-in closet, so he saw it every day. I even took it a step further. He won a trip in the meantime. We were at this beautiful resort in Santa Barbara, and one of the top execs in the company was there. And I said, hey, my husband's gonna win the road to paradise, and I'm gonna help him, so I need his numbers. So if you send me his numbers every month, I will make sure, we're going to do this together. And the guy at the time, he was like, okay, Amy. And my husband was like, oh my gosh, just, that's my wife, just. So, but this guy did, he sent me the numbers every month. And so together, and if you can do this with someone, the results are so magical and powerful. So together, I would get his numbers. We would talk about it. We would talk about the trip like it had happened. We saw it happening. It was just going to happen. So fast forward, no surprise. Not only did my husband win that trip to Jamaica, he took the lowest performing office in growth in the nation to the #1 office for growth in the nation. He got, I think, a $70,000 bonus. And that experience, for him, who wasn't totally a believer, and then my kids, we all got to see this magic. And I've used that formula over and over and over again in multiple things, and it's magical, and it works.
Wow, talking about an incredible experience, not just a story, but an experience. And so just to recap here for everybody that's listening or watching, there are a couple different things that Amy started to touch on. One is they got crystal clear on their intentions and what they were manifesting. Then they started to use certain tools to help with that intention, to make it real, whether they were feeling it or experiencing it. They also kind of doubled down with talking about it more and making it a reality. But one of the beautiful things that you shared here was you actually tracked and measured, and not just alone in a silo, but you did it with someone else so that you guys could communicate and share and, plain and simple, have some fun with it and not be alone.
Yep.
And as a result, you got to not only travel, but there was a lot more that manifested on top of it and completely changed the trajectory of not only the office and everybody in there, but also starting to gain clarity into what's possible.
Absolutely. It was amazing. And that the VP at the time, he tells the story, and it's pretty cool. And then because of that, at one of the big national meetings, they actually talked about Mel Robbins' 5-second rule because, And so they had this presentation they wanted to hear. And my husband has all of these guys in his company that now follow me on LinkedIn because I put out a lot of video content on LinkedIn. So he'll go to national meetings and they're like, I watch your wife's stuff all the time. So it's kind of crazy how we're all connected. It's all interconnected. And if you just believe, you have the desire, you believe, and you take action, and action is the most important. You can't just sit back and hope. you have to take that action, and the action's going to look different and your result might be different. It might be better than you could have ever dreamed. Like that result was better than we could have ever dreamed.
Absolutely. And how can people find you on social media? We've talked about, YouTube, and we've talked about LinkedIn. So where are you at, and how can people find you?
So on Instagram, I'm Keys to Courage. On LinkedIn, I'm Amy Perkins. On YouTube, my channel is Amy Perkins. And then again, at keystocourage.com, you get links to my podcast, which is on all platforms, even iTunes. It's called Keys to Courage. And I just truly have a desire to share what's worked for me with others. And I share so much for free. I also do one-on-one coaching, and I also have a course called Design Your Dream Life. And because of my background in a curriculum design expert, I designed a curriculum. I've got a workbook, I've got a video. It's for people that are self-starters. And if you just say, I want to know how to design my dream life, I did. I designed my dream career. I designed the dream relationship with my husband. We've been married for 19 years. And again, when Tracy died, it was fine, but it wasn't amazing. I wanted amazing. We now have amazing. The relationship with my kids, I got really intentional about wanting that to be better and deeper and more meaningful. It is. My health, I'm 47, I've never been in better shape. When you get intentional, when you take the steps to design what you want, you will get there. And I did. And so that's why I felt so passionate about creating a course for people that want to go a little deeper. I mean, you can listen to all my stuff and learn everything, but if you want a little more compacted lesson, delivered right to you to take action and the results, I've had people that have found their dream partner. I have multiple people that have manifested their dream career. And I'm actually got some testimonials. I worked with a professional video team that's coming to my website of all of this. But right now, you can just check it out, check out the course, and just know from my personal experience, I know how to design your dream life, and I just want to help people do the same thing.
There you go. Beautiful. So if you are listening to this or watching this and you want to have the experience of designing your dream life, take a look at Keys to Courage and Amy Perkins, because she is going to help you gain the clarity to manifest, but at the same time to push through fear. And all too often, fear, self-doubt, and anxiety are the components that block you from achieving the life that you truly desire. So Amy, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate everything that you've shared, and I look forward to sharing more about what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you're making a bigger impact in the world. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Ken. It's my pleasure.
So if you guys would like to gain more clarity and action and results in your life, take a moment to replay this and get out your notebook and your pen and some paper, because there was a lot of golden nuggets that Amy shared, and it's a lot about understanding, hey, where are you going? Where are you at now? And what do we need to do to gain some speed and to get through those blockages so that you can truly manifest the life that you desire? So thank you guys so much for being here. Look forward to seeing you every Wednesday, and look forward to being here on Feng Shui Live. Thank you so much.